Hello, guys! Welcome to our yet another episode of our lecture series. In today's episode, we are going to talk about rape and sexual assault. In this presentation, we are going to introduce, define, know the condition's etiology, manifestations, treatment therapies, and ethico-legal consideration. Without further ado, let's get into it. During the 1970s, the first rape crisis center was established. The treatment of victims in the criminal justice system was questioned, and hundreds of laws were passed to protect rape victims in the courts. Medical protocols have been developed and widely accepted. The mental health impact of rape is well documented in the literature, and the practices of mental health professionals have improved. Rape is the most underreported crime in America. Significant changes to improve the treatment of sexual assault victims have occurred in the last 2 decades. The impact of reforms led by women's movement can be seen in the legal, mental health, medical, and victim services arenas. As defined, rape is when a person intentionally penetrates another's vagina, anus, or mouth with a penis, without the other person's consent. Assault by penetration is when a person penetrates another person's vagina or anus with any part of the body other than a penis, or by using an object without the person's consent. The overall definition of sexual or indecent assault is an act of physical, psychological, and emotional violation in the form of sexual act inflicted on someone without their consent. It can involve forcing or manipulating someone to witness or participate in any sexual acts. Causes of rape that blame the perpetrator or victim, rather than societal or general causes of rape, vary with the type of rape. Recommended punishment vary directly with the closeness of the relationship. Additionally, gender differences and interaction of gender and ethnicity were found across type of rape. Sexual harassment is, above all, a manifestation of power relations. Women are much more likely to be victims of sexual harassment, precisely because they are more often than men lack power, are in more vulnerable and insecure positions, lack self-confidence, or have been socialized to suffer in silence. Survivors of sexual violence may feel uncomfortable immediately sharing their traumatic experience. However, there can be signs such as physical injuries. Not all sexual assaults and rape causes visible injuries. Injuries can often be internal, such as internal bleeding or sexually transmitted diseases. There may not be any injuries at all after an incident of violence or abuse. Signs of physical injuries can range depending on the violence a survivor has experienced. General indicators include bruising, bleeding, difficulty walking, soreness, and broken or dislocated bones. Other signs may include lack of trust. Survivors of sexual violence may have difficulty trusting others. As a result, survivors may have a hard time maintaining relationships. In some cases, it can become challenging to determine who can be trustworthy. Another one is isolation. Survivors may also remove themselves from their community and loved ones following acts of violence. Changes in behavior may also occur, including having outbursts of anger or similar reactions. Treatment therapies for this condition include psychodynamic psychotherapy. Psychodynamic psychotherapy has been shown to be effective in treating patients with post-traumatic stress disorders that might have resulted from sexual assault. When treating a patient who has been sexually abused or assaulted, these distinctive features of psychodynamic psychotherapy remain the focus of the treatment. Follow the red thread. Follow the red thread is a phrasing used to encourage the therapist to focus on the feelings and emotions occurring in the therapy session rather than be pulled into discussing superficial issues. In order to do this, the therapist must create a safe space for talking with the patient by being emphatic and non-judgmental, attending to the patient's physical comfort, and demonstrating understanding. Without these elements, a patient may feel re-traumatized and unsafe. Nursing management to client experiencing sexual assault should include assisting the victim to seek medical attention, encouraging verbalization of the assault, informing the significant others in the victim's life, providing safety, providing support at certain times of stress, especially during police investigations or court proceedings, and planning for follow-up contact with a crisis counselor. Sexual harassment has been increasingly identified as an issue of gender, role, power, society, and organizational demographics. Fear of reporting and the stigma attached to the victim must be removed. Promoting values and standards that shape behaviors, decisions, and relationships is key to instilling an ethic-driven organizational culture and providing a safe environment. In our country and in its constitution, we have the Republic Act 8353, the Anti-Rape Law of 1997. It is an act expanding the definition of the crime of rape, reclassifying the same as a crime against persons, amending for the purpose Act No. 3815, as amended otherwise known as the Revised Penal Code, and for the purposes. The ethical principle that should be upheld in this situation is the ethical principle of justice. Like other abuse, this principle of justice is most applicable. Rape and assault is considered as abuse and violated the right of every individual, particularly women. And that's it for rape and sexual assault. Thank you guys, and see you in the next one.